Hello, this is AH Do, bringing you on a journey through time to explore the historic events of Bangladesh in 1971. Our story begins in East Pakistan, now known as Bangladesh. In the years leading up to 1971, East Pakistan was a region simmering with discontent. The political and social condition was fraught due to perceived neglect, discrimination, and economic exploitation by the dominant West Pakistani rulers. Despite sharing a common religion, the cultural, linguistic, and economic divides between East and West Pakistan were profound. The demand for autonomy grew stronger, fueled by the desire to preserve their unique Bengali identity and to have a fair share in the political and economic decision-making process. This dissatisfaction with the West Pakistani rulers ignited a spark that would soon turn into a flame. Thus, the stage was set for a struggle for independence, which would soon escalate into a full-blown war. As the year 1971 began, tensions reached a boiling point, leading to a devastating conflict. The 26th of March would become a day of infamy in the history of Bangladesh. The Pakistani military launched what they called Operation Searchlight, a calculated move against the Bangladeshi people, marking the official outbreak of the war. This operation was not an ordinary military maneuver. It was a brutal onslaught against innocent civilians, aimed at crushing the Bangladeshi spirit. The night was filled with the sounds of gunfire and explosions, the streets running red with the blood of countless innocent lives. Homes were razed to the ground, families torn apart, and the echoes of their despair would forever haunt the nation. But here's where the story takes a turn. The people of Bangladesh, rather than succumbing to the horror, found in it a reason to fight. They rallied, they resisted, and they refused to be silenced. Despite the brutalities, the people of Bangladesh refused to give up their fight for freedom. The world watched as Bangladesh fought for its freedom, and their response would prove crucial in the outcome of the war. India, being a direct neighbor, was deeply affected by the conflict, particularly by the influx of millions of refugees fleeing the violence. In a decisive move, India intervened militarily and diplomatically, playing a pivotal role in Bangladesh's fight for independence. Meanwhile, the international community was not a silent spectator either. The refugee crisis sparked global concern and prompted international aid agencies to step in. The atrocities committed were widely condemned, with many nations rallying against Pakistan's actions. The United Nations, the global peacekeeper, was also drawn into the turmoil. Despite the divisions within the Security Council, the UN's involvement brought the crisis into the international limelight, giving Bangladesh the much-needed global recognition for its fight for freedom. The international community's involvement added a new dimension to the war, putting the spotlight on Bangladesh's struggle. As the year neared its end, Bangladesh's struggle for independence reached its climax. The events leading up to this moment were a whirlwind of intensity, culminating on December 16, 1971. On this fateful day, the Pakistani forces, who had been engaged in a brutal conflict with the Bangladeshi Liberation Forces, finally surrendered. This marked the end of a bloody and tumultuous war, a relief to the people who had been caught in the middle of this strife. The significance of this day cannot be overstated. It's a day that represents the triumph of the Bangladeshi spirit, the resilience of its people, and their unyielding pursuit of freedom. This day, now celebrated as Victory Day, is a national holiday in Bangladesh, a day of joy, pride, and remembrance. It's a testament to the country's indomitable spirit and its enduring fight for sovereignty. And thus, after a grueling 9-month-long war, Bangladesh emerged as an independent nation. In the wake of the war, Bangladesh had to face the daunting task of rebuilding a war-torn nation. The challenges were immense. A new government had to be formed, infrastructure needed to be rebuilt, and a sense of national identity had to be fostered among a diverse population. Not to mention the judicial proceedings against those accused of war crimes, a process that was both necessary for justice and healing, but also incredibly complex and fraught with controversy. Yet, in the face of such adversity, the resilience of the Bangladeshi people shone through. They worked tirelessly to overcome these challenges, to build a nation from the ashes of war. They established a parliamentary democracy, made strides in sectors like education, health, and agriculture, and fostered a vibrant culture and arts scene. Despite the challenges, Bangladesh has grown and progressed, carrying with it the legacy of its struggle for freedom.